Hello and welcome back to UML Operator. And in this episode, because of popular demand, I'm going to do a video on starting in Sparx the very first time, the first steps that you take. Now, I did a video like this about 3 years ago for Sparx 16. Sparx 17 came out a couple of years ago, and we're still on it. We're sitting here in June of 2026. This release that I'm on, build 1716, came out in January of this year, and we don't expect the next major release until next year, but I got a lot of requests for this, and that's what we're going to cover today. I might do a couple of follow-up videos. Don't want to get this too long, but today we're going to talk about some common terms when you're getting in Sparx, how to navigate the tooling and understand when I'm talking about the tooling. We're going to start with setting up your preferences. We're going to talk about Windows, the windows and tools that are available for you. And we're going to talk about EAExample.qea. It's the very first thing you should load to help you get started, start your learning curve, and we are going to create our own version of that to promote your understanding of Sparx and UML in general. Unified Modeling Language. I hope you understand me when I'm saying UML. And then we'll close out with some custom workspaces, at least one. If we've got the time, we might do a couple of more and help you get started. Of course, I assume that you've installed and you have Sparx Enterprise Architect up. Nothing has really changed since the video I did in 2023 on getting started in Sparx 16. So we have Sparx up right now. You can look, we'll talk about the start page in just a moment here. So let me just close the start page and let's talk about how the workspace layout is organized. So we have browser on the left, we have properties in the upper right, and we have notes in the lower right. And this is the default Sparx layout. Let's bring back the start page. This caret right here, we're going to go ahead and hit that, show start page. You're going to click it, and here you go. So here we have 3 columns. You have open, where you can create new project, open an existing project, connect to a SQL instance, whether that's in the cloud or your local area network, and more. All right. Then the next column we have is the recent. These are the last 10 things that you've looked at. And if you happen to want to always have access to any project, you can pin the project. I talk about that. I'll try to include a video to that. But it's as simple as right-clicking, pin connection. I'm not going to do it. I have my 10 pinned that I want to keep up. And then these are just the recent ones that I've looked at. If you go to the recent down arrow right here, you can see recently used. You can set watch, things that you want to watch for within this list. You can sort the order alphabetically or most recent. I leave it on most recent. And you can configure watched models. So if you put or are watching models, you can configure them here. That's not what this video is going to be about because that's not the first thing that you're doing when you launch Sparx. I recommend the very first thing that you do when you launch Sparx is go right here from the Start tab. You're going to go to Help, hit this drop down arrow here. You're going to get this quick access menu. And what we're going to do is open the example model. The example project happens to be called EAExample. And then here you can see now our browser is exposing everything in this project. Over on the right, when we select items, we can look at the properties and there's various tabs across the windows and then notes down at the bottom. So this is the default project that you should load when you're getting started and you're going to be learning Sparx from. Now for this demonstration, I want to talk about some common terms. We just talked about the workspace layout and the default workspace layout. And if we look at the tabs across the top here, same terminology used in Windows in any product that's up there. And then you have the notion of a ribbon. So each tab has its own configured ribbon that you're going to be using in Sparx. We're pretty much going to be staying on the Start tab and talking about or starting with the All Windows panel. Panel is the next term. So each one of these are panels. So we have All Windows, we have Explore, Appearance, Collaborate, Personal, and then here's your help from the Start tab. And as you go through each one of the tabs, you're going to see that each one of them has a panel that groups and categorizes the tooling that's referenced in that panel. One of the first things, the very first things when you're loaded, Start tab, click on Preferences. In Preferences, put in the name that you want to show up in every diagram and element that you create in Sparx. Now, I'm in an instance that has many other users, and my name is UML operator, and we're already set. So if we come over here, we're going to create a package 1. I'm just going to go ahead and have that. We're going to create a diagram. We're going to have that. And if we look at the properties, the author is UML operator. If I bring in, let's go to Tools, Design, Toolbox, and bring in an element here. Let's bring in a class element in here. And if I look at it, there we go, UML operator. So it's based off of what is set in preferences. It may not be your login ID, but make sure this happens. The next thing we're going to talk about is Workspace Layout. And this happens to be the default workspace layout, and there are certainly many more. If we go back to the Start tab here, All Windows panel, you can go to Workspace group here, and you see you have a bunch of canned from Sparx workspace layout. So this is the default. You can hit clear. It basically, if you're on a notebook computer, just clears the screen. You want to get back to the default. You go to Workspace right here. There we go, and hit default, and we're back into the default workspace layout. And I'll let you play around with other workspaces that are here, but each one of them is beneficial when you're doing certain things in your modeling environment. Your software and simulation, you're able to get to various tooling. Here's a layout for software engineering, and then there's so many more. What I want to talk about are workspace tools. So we have Workspace, and these are basically all the canned ones that we just talked about, and they're noted by this dark red icon here. And then we have My Workspaces, and I happen to have a lot of custom workspaces, and you can create those, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. We're not going to talk about my ribbon sets. We'll save that for a later episode. But right when you're getting started, understand workspace layouts and understand how to create your own workspace layout for more productive modeling. Let's go back to the default. So All Windows, Workspaces, load back the default. So we're back to the factory default layout, and we want to start modeling. However, where's the tooling for modeling? It's one of the frustrating things in Sparx since the very beginning that I just have so many users that come in going, okay, I want to model. How do I get started? And let's talk about the toolbox. So we're in the Start tab. We're going to go to Design in the All Windows, Diagram column right here, Toolbox. And you'll see in the default layout, it's coming to the right of the browser. So it's coming into the right, and we can move this around any way we want. We can size this, all sorts of things, and we can dock them. You'll notice this tooling right here for docking. I can put it in the center. I can put it at the top, the bottom, the left, or the right. Let's go to the left of the browser. And there, this is it next to the left of the browser. Let's pull this out and go to the very far left. And this is what we want to do for Toolbox. And then just like any Windows, you can size this to what fits the screen that you're working on. So now we know how to bring up the toolbox. What happens if we go to, let me go to Workspace, I'm just going to pick Core Modeling. So in core modeling, we've got pan and zoom on the right, and properties in the upper right, browsers still on the left. But where did our toolbox go? We want to bring that back. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the workspace layout that we like, and that's going to be the default for this exercise. So let's do this again. We're going to go to Workspace, Default. This is the default layout. We're going to go in the All Windows Start tab, Design, select Toolbox, and we want it to the left of the browser. I'm holding down the mouse button, dragging it to the left of the browser. And let's say you want your own default workspace layout. Let's go ahead and create a custom workspace. So from the Start tab, Workspace in the All Windows panel, we're going to bring this up. We are going to click on My Workspaces, and we get this dialog box, and here's all the custom workspaces I've created. Yours is going to be blank. If we go to Workspaces, these are all the canned workspaces that you can play around with, provided by Sparx. But let's go to My Workspace, and these are the My Workspaces that I've created. I happen to already have one called My Default Layout. I'm going to delete this layout. So I'm going to right click on it and delete, right? And there it's gone. Now, I like the workspace layout we created here in the background. So I'm going to select Create New, right? So we're going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to give it a name, and it's going to be My Default Layout. Call it anything you want. Give it a unique and meaningful name. We're going to include Active Custom View. If you've got matrices up or particular views that are up that you want to load when you're bringing this, I would always leave this checked just to be safe. You can always close them and then come back and configure any way you want, just the way that we did here. Let's go ahead and hit save. So now we have our own custom workspace layout called My Default Layout. So let's go to Workspaces. Let's set it back to the factory default layout. Now let's go to Workspaces, My Workspaces, and go down to My Default, and let's go ahead and apply that. And here we go. We have My Default Workspace Layout with Toolbox to the left of the browser. Let's do it again. We're going to go to Workspaces, Default, and then it is loaded the factory default layout. Another way you can get to your workspaces quickly is up in the very upper left here. You have this icon. Let's go ahead and just click on it, and you get to this tool, and you can choose the user layouts you've created. Let's go with My Default Layout. Now we have that back. So when you create your custom workspace layouts, you're able to very quickly get to them at the time you need to get to them. So you're doing requirements analysis. I'm usually in this view. I have various analysis when I'm doing analysis of models, depending on what they are. I like having these windows up. So let's talk about the windows next. All right, so the cool thing about Sparx is that it's filled with a plethora of tools. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Design and just look at a couple of these. One is Focus. We're in the Explore column here. Focus, I'm going to select it, and Focus popped up over the browser. So I have Focus, Inspector comes with the browser, and then I have Browser. So now I have Focus here. I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. Let's go back to Start tab, All Windows, Design, and let's look at some other tools that might be interesting for your work. One of them is Trace. This is a big one. So when we go to Trace, Trace popped up in the upper right in this configuration. And I like to move it to the lower right side. So we're going to grab this tab. We're just going to drag it out here. You can put this window anywhere you want. I want to hold down the left mouse button, drag it right here, and I'm going to drag it right on top of this window. So now I have notes and I have traceability. So there is a ton of windows. We're not going to spend the whole time looking at them, but I pull out particular tooling that I want to use when I am doing specific modeling analysis or specific work. So let's look at one of my favorite workspace layouts, custom workspace. I just call it common full. So this is my common layout I start with when I'm start modeling. So I have browser in the upper right. I have timelines, which is a tool that I like to use. I have videos on timelines. Of course, we've got inspector, pan and zoom. I like to have it here so I'm able to move around, especially large models that are in front of me. I have library. I have a video on the library. We can talk about that. In the lower right, I got a lot going on here. So I've got notes, first thing I see. And I have properties. I moved it from the upper right down here. And then I have traceability. I told you I like it in the lower right. And then I have features and so much more. And then over on the left, I have the toolbox. And then in the toolbox, focus. So I'm able to move and look at specific things with elements that I've worked on the last day or last 3 days or more, diagrams that I've worked on in the last day, 24 hours, last 3 days, and so on. I like to have that there. And then I have discuss and review. This allows me to create a journal on diagrams, packages, and elements. I have videos on that as well. So journal, discuss, and review. So this is my common workspace layout that I use mostly when I'm working in Sparx Enterprise Architect. And if you mess things up, maybe you're doing specific work and you dragging windows around, or you accidentally drag a window somewhere in a discussion and you want to get it back, that's not a problem. You go up to the upper left, you go to your favorite workspace layout, user layout, and there we go. We're back just that fast. All right, we're going to wrap up now. I hope this episode was helpful for you. You get started here in less than 20 minutes, not a problem. Probably less than that because I was doing too much talking. Bring up the example model. You can bring it up here, you can right click and you can put it off and pin it for your everyday work when you're getting to it, and play around with it. Go to various model types that you want to look at, configure your tooling for that type of work. Here we're looking at a class diagram. I like to have traceability up so that I'm selecting items, I can see what they're relevant to, and I have other tooling here that helps me productively move through various model diagrams and views. You're going to learn about switching views. You can go into a relationship view. Let's look at that. You're able to look at the model from a relationship perspective. Hey, I only want to see things that are connected. I talk about that in this channel and you'll learn a lot more. So much to talk about, so much to do. I hope that you can progress as fast as most of my students do. It's pretty easy once you get the basics down when you're working with the tool. If you understand the terminology, you can converse with others. You can use AI to search and get help with your model learning in Sparx Enterprise Architect, as well as other tooling. All right. And I'm going to follow this up with some other getting started, but hopefully you're able to start creating models that work quickly for you. Let's go ahead and close the last 3 that we had open, and just going through and learning the different model types that you want to do, how the tooling changes when you're moving around to those specific elements that you're working with. So if I go back into class, you can see that the toolbox changes based on the diagram type that you're working on. So the common diagrams are going to be use cases. Let's close everything except for this getting start page. Use cases and class diagrams. All right. So basic modeling, you got these. I would start right here, but use cases are the most common that are used when models are getting started. And the second one, of course, is class diagrams or object diagrams. And there's so much to choose from here to help you get started. You're able to select this, look at properties, understand how elements are configured, the metadata that's under each one of them, that when you're looking at the dialog boxes, there's no intelligence in here, but there's a lot of metadata relevant to whoever created this particular element, this particular diagram, and more, all right? So thanks very much for watching, and until that next episode, happy modeling.